At first glance, the worlds of quantum physics and biology seem poles apart. One describes the strange, counterintuitive behavior of subatomic particles, a realm of uncertainty and probability. The other deals with the warm, wet, and complex machinery of living organisms. For a long time, we thought the delicate quantum effects would be impossible inside a living cell, washed out by the noisy environment. But a new and exciting field called quantum biology is challenging this view. It suggests that life has not only learned to survive the weirdness of the quantum world, but has actively harnessed it over billions of years of evolution. This idea is revolutionary. It proposes that some of life's deepest mysteries might only be solved by looking at the physics happening at the smallest scales. The core idea of quantum biology is that nature is a master quantum engineer. It has figured out how to use subtle quantum phenomena to gain a competitive edge. These phenomena include things like quantum coherence, where particles can exist in multiple states at once, and quantum tunneling, where a particle can pass through a solid barrier it should not be able to cross. We are finding these tricks in some of the most fundamental processes of life. Far from being fragile, these quantum effects appear to be robust and essential. They help plants turn sunlight into energy more efficiently, and may even guide birds on their incredible migrations across the globe. We are just beginning to uncover the extent of this hidden quantum layer that underpins the classical world of biology we can see. Understanding this connection is profoundly exciting because it opens up a new way of thinking about what it means to be alive. It suggests that life is not just a collection of complex molecules following classical chemical rules. Instead, it is a finely tuned system that exploits the fundamental laws of reality in the most sophisticated ways. The questions this raises are immense. How did these abilities evolve? How widespread are they across the different kingdoms of life? And what can we learn from them? Quantum biology is not just about explaining existing biological puzzles. It is about revealing a deeper, more intricate, and far stranger picture of the living world than we ever imagined possible, forcing us to reconsider the very boundary between physics and life. This journey into the quantum realm of biology is still in its early days, filled with debate and discovery. Scientists are developing new experimental tools to probe these ultra-fast, ultra-small processes inside living cells. Each new piece of evidence adds to a growing picture where quantum mechanics is not just a theory for physicists, but a practical toolkit used by nature itself. We are starting to see that to truly understand life, we need to appreciate its quantum heartbeat. This is not science fiction. It is the cutting edge of modern science, where the rules governing atoms and electrons are being used to explain the elegant and efficient solutions found in the natural world. It is a quest to find the quantum secrets that make life possible. One of the most compelling examples of quantum biology in action is photosynthesis. This is the process plants and some bacteria use to convert sunlight into chemical energy. For a long time, we understood the basic chemistry, but there was a puzzle. When a photon of light strikes a chlorophyll molecule, it creates a packet of energy called an exciton. This exciton must then travel through a dense forest of other molecules to reach a reaction center, where its energy can be stored. Classical physics suggested this journey should be slow and inefficient, like a drunkard stumbling through a crowd, with much of the energy lost along the way. Yet photosynthesis is incredibly efficient, capturing almost every photon of light. The answer appears to lie in a quantum trick called coherence. Instead of taking one random path, the exciton acts like a wave and explores all possible paths simultaneously. This quantum sampling allows it to instantly find the most direct and efficient route to the reaction center. It is as though it has a map of the entire molecular forest at once. This quantum coherence helps the energy packet avoid getting trapped or lost, ensuring that the sun's energy is harvested with maximum efficiency. This is not just a theoretical idea. Experiments using ultra-fast lasers have detected the telltale signatures of these quantum waves lasting for incredibly brief moments within photosynthetic proteins, long enough to get the job done. Another fascinating mystery is how birds, turtles, and other animals navigate during long-distance migrations. They seem to have an internal magnetic compass, but how it works has been a puzzle. The Earth's magnetic field is extremely weak, so sensing it requires a very sensitive mechanism. One leading theory, the radical pair mechanism, suggests this compass is also quantum. It proposes that when light hits a specific molecule in a bird's eye, it creates a pair of electrons with linked quantum spins. The Earth's magnetic field can then influence how these spins evolve over time. Depending on the bird's orientation relative to the magnetic field, This will change the chemical products these radical pairs eventually create. This process would effectively allow the bird to see the Earth's magnetic field as a pattern superimposed on its normal vision. The bird would not be seeing a compass needle, but rather a pattern of light and dark spots that shifts as it turns its head. This provides a direct visual link to the planet's magnetic lines. While we have not proven this definitively in a living bird yet, the evidence is mounting. We have found the right kinds of molecules, called cryptochromes, in the retinas of birds, and laboratory experiments have shown that these molecules can indeed form the necessary magnetically sensitive radical pairs. It is a beautiful example of how a subtle quantum effect could solve a major biological challenge. Quantum mechanics is not just for plants and birds. It is also at work deep inside our own bodies. A key example is found in the action of enzymes. Enzymes are the catalysts of life, proteins that dramatically speed up the chemical reactions necessary for everything from digesting food to copying our DNA. They work by bringing molecules together in precisely the right way. However, some reactions happen much faster than classical chemistry can explain. The secret ingredient appears to be quantum tunneling. This is a bizarre quantum phenomenon where a particle, like a proton or an electron, can pass directly through an energy barrier that it classically should not have enough energy to overcome. It is like throwing a ball at a wall and having it appear on the other side. In many enzyme-catalyzed reactions, a proton needs to be moved from one molecule to another. Classically, this would require a lot of energy to climb over the barrier separating them. But through quantum tunneling, the proton can simply disappear from one side and reappear on the other, effectively teleporting across the gap. This quantum shortcut allows the reaction to proceed millions of times faster than it otherwise would. Without this quantum boost, many of the essential processes of life would grind to a halt. It shows that our bodies are not just chemical factories, they are quantum engines, relying on the strange rules of the subatomic world to function efficiently. Quantum tunneling may also play a more disruptive role, particularly in our DNA. The DNA double helix holds the genetic code for life, and it is held together by hydrogen bonds. These bonds involve protons shared between the two strands. Normally, these protons sit in a stable position. However, due to quantum uncertainty, a proton has a small but non-zero chance of tunneling to a different position, forming what is known as a tautomer. This tiny shift can change the bonding properties of the DNA base, causing it to pair with the wrong partner during DNA replication. This leads to a point mutation, a single error in the genetic code. While most mutations are harmless or repaired, some can lead to genetic diseases or cancer. The idea that a purely quantum event, a single proton tunneling through a barrier, could be a fundamental source of genetic mutation is a profound thought. It suggests that the stability of our genetic heritage is constantly being challenged by the inherent uncertainty of the quantum world. This link between quantum mechanics and genetics is still an area of active research, but it highlights how the tiniest physical events can have life-altering biological consequences, shaping evolution and disease in ways we are only now beginning to comprehend. It tells us that life is a constant negotiation between order and quantum chaos. The reach of quantum biology might extend to the most complex object we know, the human brain. This is perhaps the most speculative and controversial area of the field. Some scientists have proposed that quantum effects could be involved in consciousness itself. Theories like the orchestrated objective reduction, or OR model, suggest that quantum computations could be happening inside tiny structures within our neurons called microtubules. The idea is that the brain might be a quantum computer, using quantum coherence to process information in ways that classical computers cannot. These are bold claims, and they face significant skepticism from the neuroscience community, as the warm, wet brain is a difficult environment for fragile quantum states to survive. Even if consciousness itself is not quantum, other brain functions might be. For instance, some researchers are exploring whether quantum tunneling could play a role in how neurotransmitters, the chemical messengers of the brain, interact with their receptors at synapses. A quantum boost could help explain the speed and sensitivity of neural signaling. Right now, these are fascinating but unproven hypotheses. Proving or disproving them will require new experimental tools that can peer into the brain with quantum precision. The very possibility, however, forces us to ask deep questions about the physical nature of thought and perception, pushing the boundaries of both biology and physics. Beyond fundamental understanding, quantum biology promises to inspire a new generation of technologies. By learning from nature's quantum tricks, we could build better technologies. For example, by mimicking the quantum efficiency of photosynthesis, we could design far more effective solar panels that capture and convert sunlight with minimal loss. Understanding how enzymes use quantum tunneling could lead to the design of novel industrial catalysts or new drugs that work more efficiently. If we can confirm the quantum compass in birds, it could inspire new navigation systems that are not reliant on satellites. The field is a source of bio-inspiration for quantum technologies. However, many challenges remain. The effects we are looking for are incredibly fast and occur at a tiny scale, making them extremely difficult to observe directly in a living organism. Differentiating a true functional quantum effect from simple classical physics that just looks similar is a major hurdle. Much of the evidence is still indirect and many ideas remain theoretical. A great deal more research combining the expertise of physicists, chemists, and biologists is needed to put these theories on solid experimental ground. Quantum biology is a field on the edge, full of promise and potential, reminding us that even after centuries of study, life still holds deep and fundamental secrets.